Hi, today we're going to be doing a demo of the BlueSquIDX single-family acquisition platform. You can learn more about us at www.bluesquidx.com. My name is Steve and I'm the founder and lead developer. Today we're going to be trying to find a flip property for a fictional client that has been creatively named Client A. We're looking for a single-family detached. We're looking at active listings only. We're excluding age-restricted and auction properties. We've got a max purchase price of $220 and a deal score down here of 14. The deal score is a proprietary algorithm that we developed. It has the ability to identify those properties that have the highest probability of being sold to an investor. So we'll pick on this property here on Palo Verde, and when we open this property up, we can see that we have 6 tabs across the top. First tab is listing details. This is all the data that comes from the MLS. We have all the configuration information, agent contact, public and private remarks. We can see that there has been a few price adjustments on this property. If we go to the images tab, we can see all of the listing images for this property and can do a simple slideshow on those images as well. Over to the maps tab, we have a split panel map. On the left, we're zoomed out on a standard map, so we have a contextual view. Over on the right, we're zoomed into satellite, so we can see problem areas such as, in this case, adjacent commercial properties. You would also be able to see busy roads, power lines, things that might be deal killers for you. We're going to pretend, in this case, that we like having commercial property in our backyard, and we'll keep going. Over on the Buy Box tab, this is where we test all of our value assumptions against calculators that we build. Before we test that though, we need to have an idea of what we think this property is worth. So we'll go over to our CMA tool. CMA is a purpose-built tool for comping houses. You can see on the left we have a handful of filters. We have our property detail information in this center panel. We have the ability to do some overrides if we have data that was erroneously input by an agent. We have our total number of properties that are returned by this current filter setting over here. And finally, over on the right side of the panel, we have a standard linear regression. We have square footage on the x-axis, dollars per square foot on the y-axis, subject property depicted by the red line here, and the list price of the subject property depicted by that small red dot. As we adjust these filters on the left, it'll change our count here and adjust this regression over here on the right. So we have the ability to select whether we want to see active pending or sold. We can match on subdivision. We can say that we only want to go back 6 months. We can say that we only want to see plus or minus 30% of square footage, and that'll get us down to a small number of appropriate properties to be looking at. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to look at flips only. And when you select this box, it ignores all of these other inputs. And what it does is it shows us all of the properties that have been flipped in this zip code in the last year. So we can see over here on the map view, we have our subject property here depicted by that star. We're going to do a little draw search, and we're just going to pick a small handful of properties that have been flipped near our subject property. We'll flip over to the list view and sort on distance to subject, which has the effect of grouping those flips together. So our subject property is up here on the top, and we see our first flipped property right here as properties 1 and 2. You can see this 1932 West San Miguel. You can see that this transaction closed at $197 and is pending at $277. So about an $80,000 price delta on this one, and we can see the before and after pictures of this property. Very interesting way to comp houses. So we have an auto CMA script that runs. It does its best to try and find the 5 best properties, takes an average of those sale prices, and gives us a value that we can change if we feel like we've come back with a different value than it gave us. So if we put a value in there, you can see each time we adjust these inputs, these calculators recalculate. So I'll put a $30,000 repair budget, and we can see that our flip calculator would tell us we have a max offer of 186. And so we'll put 186 into an offer amount. We get a green light on our calculator and we're ready to generate a contract. We go straight to the contracts tab and we will hit the title company API to fetch our buyer and seller information, legal description. We'll select our agent, we'll select our title company, we'll attach this contract to this transaction and download the contract to Dropbox. And if we flip over to Dropbox, we can see that it created a folder for us that matches the name of this property. And when Dropbox is done processing that file, it will download it into that folder, and we have a completely filled out and executed purchase contract. So that's it from start to finish, finding, evaluating, and generating a contract. Hope you enjoyed that. You can learn more about us on the web at www.bluesquidx.com. Thanks and have a great day.